Welcome. If you're here today, hopefully you're here to learn about how to try math centers. And if you've never done them before, they are an excellent way to build engagement in your math program. They are a great way to reach a lot of students, and really they're just fun for students, and they really do enjoy them. So let's go through some of my tips and tricks. And if you don't know me already, I'm Mrs. S from Mrs. S Room on TPT, and I am a 21 plus year teacher who is very passionate about math teaching. So I'm very excited to share this with you. So these are the talking points that we're going to go through today: why you should try math centers, how to do this really easily, how to group students, some potential schedules you might put together, how to put all of that together, and then a little surprise at the end if you stick with me. So why should you do math centers? You should do math centers because it allows you to reach many students in small groups. It gives a lot of opportunities for success. So when you're pulling those students in those small groups, you're really seeing, do they know the content? And you can really dive into what they know and how you can reach them as best you can in a small group setting, rather than a large group setting where you might not see all their mistakes and be able to give them that immediate feedback. This allows you to really give that immediate feedback, and that feedback helps them grow quicker. It sees students work together to build skills other than math. We all know after the pandemic, those soft skills, although I think that that's a misnomer, they're so crucial for kids. They need to learn how to work together again, and these do give them that opportunity. It gives a lot of freedom for students within a lot of boundaries. So you're giving them that freedom, but not complete freedom, which is nice. It gives opportunity for spiraling concepts. So you can do other concepts within your centers and stations, whatever you choose to call them. I'll probably call them centers in this workshop. And that allows them to really build on concepts they already know and remember them as they're going. So let's make it easy. So my stations look like this. Station 1 is this teacher lesson or review, and I try to touch base with students at least 2 to 3 times a week. But I don't always. If they're my high flyers and they can go off and do something a little more extended, then I let them do that. But for those that are really weak in concepts, I try to touch base with them at least 2 to 3 times. Sometimes it's more than that because I can. Station 2 is bell ringers, and I'll show you those in a second. So I use those because they spiral concepts every week. Then I also do a number of the week, and I'll show you that. Some technology centers, a problem solving type question, or maybe a worksheet, and then a dice or game center. So the teacher lessons, you're going to pull students into groups with similar needs to review the homework, learn a new concept, practice a concept that's difficult for that particular group, or consolidate answers. This is nice because it really does allow you to reach some students that maybe have some gaps right now, and isn't that all of them? So we want to really address that and help them to grow further. So my bell ringers are like this, and so each day they have a different task to do. You could ignore the days, cut the days off if that bothers you. If you're doing them in stations and you just want them to do as many questions as they can through their station, then you do that. If you want them to do them for each day, you can do that too. This is an example, I believe, of my 6 and my 3 or my 4, I'm not sure, bell ringers, and they go by grade. And so of course you can do this to match each grade you've got. So if you've got a 5-6, you could do what I would do usually typically is color the grade 5 in a green paper and then color the grade 6 in a blue paper. And then that way I can easily tell, and so can the kids. They always know their colors. They know which one they need to pick if they're at that station. Number of the week. This is my newest and I'm so excited about this. This is my newest thing, but this is what I do with students, and it allows them to really dive into number sense so that they're not forgetting every time. And it is repetitive. It is not meant to be creative thinking. It allows students to redo and practice the same type of concepts so that every week they're practicing those number sense things and they can really improve. And I have seen such improvement with this over the last year while I've been using it. It is something that my students actually really liked, and it helped them with a lot of number sense skills. So it really covered a lot. And so they can sit and do this independently, because after you've done one or two, it really is easy for them to do. They know exactly what they're supposed to do, and they can reference previous ones. This is just using the same one. So this is my grade 4, the very beginning of grade 4. So it kind of goes over the same concepts and helps them to really reinforce those. Another station that my students really love is Dyson card games. So they practice the concept using Dyson card games. And so, for example, this is a place value one, although I have one for integers, I have one for fractions. You can do them with everything. And I love these because the students are really engaged. They think they're playing a game, but yet it's really very much reinforcing those number sense ideas that we want to really hit. Because I don't know about you, but I find I need to spend more time on number sense, and it's time I don't have. So I need to make sure that even while I'm teaching, say, geometry, I'm going to be reinforcing number sense as well, because it helps them in other ways. So this is a great way to spiral, because you're going to cover these things again and again and again and again. If you're looking for something like this, I have an entire set of Dyson card games. They are very cheap and they're really easy to use. And they come with little game cards like this one. Some come with game boards if they need them, but most do not. Most, it's simply just playing the game, and students love them. And there's usually 3 to 4 for every month, so you can change them out weekly, or you can do 2 Dyson card game stations for every center, and then just keep them going for two or 3 weeks. They don't get tired of them, so it's fun to even bring them back. So as far as technology, there are some great sites. I know these are just a few, and there's a lot that are not listed. So Reflex is one of the ones I love, especially for grades 5 and under, although if you have students that are weak in number sense, grade 6 is good too. It really starts out with addition and subtraction, and then builds on that to multiplication and division. It is not drill and kill, although you will see it sort of looks like that. It actually does a lot of number talks, which is why I love it. A lot of number talks really dives into how the numbers work together. So 2 and 8 make 10, 7 and 3 also make 10. So it really dives into some of those rich number sense concepts that we want students to really understand. This is great for students, but I will tell you that it comes with a cost. So it does, you have to pay for it. Now, there are often Reflex licenses, grants that you can get. So if you go to their website, Reflex Math, you will find you can apply for a grant, and a lot of teachers find that they get approved every time. I will say that my admin even found the value in this after I had done the grant, and thankfully she paid for it for the last couple of years, and it has shown great growth in our students. Knowledge Hook, if you don't already know, Knowledge Hook is terrific for practicing those multiple choice things. We do a Knowledge Hook game show Friday. My kids love it. They think we're having a fun game. I'm practicing math concepts. Prodigy is great. You've probably heard of it. Desmos, Khan Academy, you can assign specific concepts. Estimation 180, I use it often at the beginning of the year, but I've also used it as a center throughout the year, and there's so many on there that you can just keep going. IXL Math is great. Huda Math Games, Math Playground, there's so many. And if you have more, please comment below when I upload this to YouTube, because I would love to see what your best technology concepts are. Problem solving. So I vary this one. So there are big idea style questions, like you can see to the left. I have students estimate and build a ultimate doghouse in grade 4, and they love that one. When I started teaching grade 7, we started talking about how do you move away to school? What financial aid are you going to get? The interest rates on that. What's the cost of the university or college? So we really dive into those. So those can be some really big idea project-based things. And I usually do those typically before breaks. They're great before Christmas. They're great before March. They're great in June. Because students are still engaged, but it allows them to really focus on some concepts that they didn't know were connected. So for example, the area, they often don't realize that area is connected to designing a house, that's really important. So when we do tiny houses in 6 and 7, that's a huge concept for them and they love it. I also use this for practice worksheets. So for example, if we're doing practice slides or practice worksheets, I do both. This is where I would give them opportunity. So that is one station when I'm doing math stations or centers. So grouping, you probably already know this from your experience in teaching. You can group by ability. You could group by skill level or understanding. For example, if they're all having trouble with putting zeros in place value mats, then you group those students so that you can really address that when you're teaching them. And I often have them bring a whiteboard to my lesson so that we can do it that way. I can group by friendship. So I try to keep things together or people together so that they can really, bond together, and they can also build one another up. And then I also try to group together by leadership potential. So if I know that they can bring other students up already, I try to put them in a group with students that I know that they can really help or they can really build that leadership potential. So potential schedules. So there are a few varieties of potential schedules. One of the varieties is that from Monday to Thursday, they're going to work through 1 to 2 stations plus a teacher lesson. And usually that includes some consolidation at the end of every day. What did you learn? What did you find out? What was interesting to you? What strategies did you use in the game? And it's a little bit of just discussion. Sometimes that also builds in some time for a number talk. So you did percentages today. Let's look at one of the percentages. How did you break that number down to find 50%? And then on Friday, we do a consolidation time or a knowledge game show. And that really allows some time to really focus on things and move through concepts. And you'll notice that I have a teacher lesson every day. It doesn't always happen every day, although I said before, 2 to 3 days is I find a great mix. But if it doesn't happen that day, then it's okay because you've already made it happen several other days. Another option for a schedule is to start on Monday with like a mini math talk or a number talk. And then they work definitely through 2 stations plus a teacher lesson. So on the other one, it was a little more flexible. If you didn't get through quite 2, it would be okay. On this one, it's less flexible because you want to be done on Thursday and Friday. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for little mini teacher lessons. And then Thursday and Friday, you're working through some big idea or real life math, like that building a ultimate pet house. And it extends into the next day possibly. And then Friday can either be still that real life math or consolidation and a knowledge game show like the previous schedule. So if you have gone through all of this with me, you are looking at where do you get all this stuff. And I will tell you right now that yes, I sell all of it individually, but my Math 360 is primarily where you're going to find everything. So these are what my Math 360 look like. You'll see at the bottom, it always says Math 360. And those are where you're going to find absolutely everything. You're going to find the full daily lessons. You're going to find anchor charts. You're going to find tests and quizzes, extra worksheets. Each month has 3 to 4 games. You will also find task cards, and you can also use those in centers. Real life math, teacher slides and answer pages, marking sheets, digital slides, report card comments, long range plans that match. I built these because I was tired of trying to find what I needed when I needed it. And I wanted things organized by what the concept was. So if I'm doing fractions and angles, I want everything to do with fractions and angles in that particular unit. And so everything to do with fractions and angles is in that unit. I will tell you that the units are a little bit overwhelming. I apologize. But once you get used to them, they do work really well and you will have absolutely everything you needed. I'm in the process of adding right now my number of the week pages. So if you own my Math 360, you can re-download that. If you email me at Sherry@Mrs.S.Room with your invoice number for the Math 360, I can send you the appropriate pages because I don't want you to have to re-download everything if you don't want to. But this is all included. It is a very inclusive program. Or you can buy it separately, whichever works for you. These are my social media platforms. Facebook, Mrs. S Room, at Mrs. S Room on Instagram, and mrssroom.com for my website. You can also email me at Sherry@Mrs.S Room. And now for the surprise. So if you are between grades 3 and 6, please email me for a sneak peek at my new number of the week. I am happy to provide you with a portion of it as a thank you for watching this video. Just reference this video and the fact that it's a thank you freebie. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you for being brave and trying something new. We have been very brave over the last few years in switching and pivoting and all that stuff. So it's nice that you are brave enough to try something else that's new. Thank you.